close to me. Can you hear me well? This is a great collaboration I have with Catherine, so I have to say personal things about this. We share pockets, and then we share research grants and also thoughts, but we don't share tools. I wanted to say that if Françoise tries to develop models, and they are inspiring, we try to develop resources to answer some of the specific needs of our students. And our students are French as a second language students, and in the needs emerging from Catherine's environment are related to the fact that she is in Victoria and there aren't many native speakers of French around, so she has designed and developed a library of videos that are annotated, that the students, that are authentic documents that students can listen and can go further in the understanding the language and the diversity of the language. And in my case, I'm dealing with advanced students, very advanced, almost bilingual French as a second language learners. And from previous corpus era analysis we have done with another colleague of mine who has worked on the development of this particular resource, which is a dictionary, Yasmina Milicevic. We have, lexical errors have emerged, and in particular those that are related with the knowledge of lexemes in depth. So all the lexical relationships surrounding the lexeme, such as knowing what the synonyms, quasi-synonyms, antonyms, and so on are, and also what we are referred to as syntagmatic relations. So therefore, collocations, for instance, are do lexical items combined by preferences, and also how can we observe them by frequency, and so on and so forth. So this has given birth to a dictionary. So as a background, we're both are linguists and language engineers. So the approach is very much inspired by the ADI design. So it's a research and development, and testing we do with users. The users are our students. Actually, is part of the process of the design and the development. And the users, the learners are at the center of our attention, and they participate in this design from the start by analyzing their needs, and then by having them use and test the prototypes, and by designing tasks that are classroom tasks, that are authentic tasks, that we think the results we develop would be a good help, good support to do this. And why would we do this if there are other types of resources? It's because we have looked at other resources, and we found that there are some needs for more specific, more dedicated tools, and we happen to have the knowledge and the abilities to develop those tools. So I've mentioned those two projects. So mine is called, it's a dictionary, it's called Dire Autrement, Say It Otherwise. So the idea is to develop accuracy, and not only accuracy, but also flexibility or idiomaticity. So dire autrement is to be able to say things again, so to use paraphrases. And in order to do this, you need to know a lot about synonymy, and you need to know about collocation. So in that prototype, you will find not only 1,000 lexemes described in depth, but also some exercises on synonyms and collocation. And Catherine's project, Catherine can tell much more about it, and you can read the literature about her project and mine also in the references we're going to give you at the end. But Catherine's project is about filming people talking about their Francophone environments. It's live, and they're very nice videos, and they've been all annotated, so if learners can do searches for similarities or for expressions, and so it's also, but it's video-based, as mine is a different type of resource, a resource more for writing. Participants, I've described them. Tasks. So when we design, they're called usability tests. So we mentioned a little bit about usability, and utility. So how useful and how satisfied and how is this answering my needs for that particular task in that particular context. So there we are designing tasks that are micro tasks, but they are part of a larger intervention that we do with the students. So those tasks are to identify, explore, analyze, evaluate, paraphrase, interpret, discriminate, manipulate second language learning information. And as I've said, they are testing our tools, and they are testing in particular what we refer to as the quality of this interaction between the task that was designed for language learning purposes, the learner needs, and this tool that we're trying to improve. And the quality is measured by criteria, and those criteria used in interface design and web engineering are namely effectiveness, efficiency, and satisfaction. So by effectiveness, we are kind of measuring the quality and the quantity of input that the learners, the language input that the learners would produce, you know, as a result of doing the task and using your tool while doing that task, or not using it, or in and off with the tool. And by efficiency, we're kind of measuring the process of the task. So the task duration, the time, and all the efforts that are visible that we can see because we record the interaction, and that we can annotate. So efforts and time and satisfaction, students tell us about their experience with the tool doing the tasks, and they reflect on that. And also we get another layer of information, and a very an interesting one by doing not talk aloud, but talk after. So once we have screened, you know, the computer, once we have recorded the process, the task process, we ask them to look at the task and to explain what they were doing, and that confirms or not some of the inferences we had when we analyzed the videos. Yes? Data selection. We're there. So I'm going. I'm not following the slides. I know what I want to say. So how do we do this? Well, in the case of this particular intervention, and the way we develop and we psychically improve our tools is we video capture the learner task tool interaction. So we use talk, I would say talk after rather than think aloud, right? So they impede less on the action. You do it after, quick though, right after, because you don't tend to forget, oh, did I have the word in mind or did I not? Once I looked in the dictionary, did I... So it's important that it's done quickly after, and obviously that kind of data collection brings a lot of, can be overwhelming. You can very easily collect too many data and feel very satisfied with that. Wow, you know. So you've got to discriminate also, and you've got to select some of the parameters you want to observe. So for instance, if for you efforts, some types of efforts are more significant because this observation of this kind of effort will help you improve your tool or think better about your task, then you want to focus on them that time where you analyze your data. So same with talk after protocol. In the case of my research, I've done a little bit. And Catherine is very good with focus groups. That's how she also gets another layer of information from the student. But I found that they were very heavy to listen to those talk after, and that the students need to be trained to do talk after and talk aloud by all means. Pre and post reflective tasks. When you design the tool, you also prepare the students of using the tools, the intervention. And I can see her in the room here. I'm working at the University of Ottawa. It's very difficult to be in your classroom to actually measure, and so you've got to have a nice colleague who's actually teaching an advanced vocab class. My colleague Laura Ambrosio's classes there. I've kind of developed an intervention that fits well in the way she talks advanced vocabulary, and that's how it was done. And Catherine did the same at her university also in the context of a course. Was it on writing or no, listening comprehension? Yeah, second, advanced as well. So pre-task to prepare, obviously, the students to use the tools and also to let them know about why we have these initiatives. And post-tasks that are very reflective and that inform us quite a lot about, the first question we ask them often, the students, is, what have you done? What do you think, and sometimes they don't know. So if they don't know, there's a problem with your task, I don't know, I'm not sure. It was kind of sort of writing words within a text, and then we're like, I've got to make sure my tasks, is an authentic task here, and I've got to talk with the students and the teachers. So you reevaluate not only the tools, but also the task, and then you talk with the students more and you know more about their needs. Anyway, so data analysis, I've mentioned it. We have some technology used for usability tests that enables us to actually capture the screen and then annotate and quantitatively analyze those efforts. For instance, and for instance, in the case of the dictionary, an effort would be consultate, using one of the functions of the dictionary, looking for synonyms and reading a definition. So all those are tags, are efforts. In the case of Catherine, for instance, efforts, well, there's lots of navigation involved there. So there are moves or observable actions and paths that we also look at. So I'm going to pass on the microphone to Catherine.
Okay, so now what do we do with that data? And when we started, we talked about recycling. So I'm giving you here an example of a full cycle of evaluation that we have just done at UVic in a case of an introduction to French linguistic course. So why did we use the video Franco 12 as one of the tools? Is that one of the units was actually, no, I've got 2 minutes. It's because you talk too much. One of the reasons was that one of the units is on register, and being able to make the difference between familiar register and formal register. And within the site that we've developed, Franco 12, it's all spontaneous speech. So there's a lot of familiar, and because there's people from Quebec, people from Senegal, people from France, people from Île Maurice, then students can actually compare and contrast. So basically, that was the idea of the task, and Françoise gave you this mediated activity figure, and actually what Marie-Jo just said when we asked the student, what have you done, and they cannot tell us what they've done. This is clearly a failure somewhere in that triangle where the task is sitting somewhere as a satellite, but it's not actually integrated within the learning environment. So that's where we're trying to focus. So very quickly, in 1 minute, on the top you have the three, the way the evaluation was done. So the pre-survey, the online survey, and that's to go back to what Felix was saying. We need to know who our users are. And I want to know what they use.